Python for Beginners. A series of lectures on Python language with real-life problems and their solutions by Imran's. Our fourth lecture on Python list. Please subscribe to our channel for getting updated videos right away.
In Python, there are 4 built-in data types: list, tuple, dictionary, and set. We shall cover Python list in today's lecture. Python list is used to store different list items under one variable. List is denoted by square brackets. List may contain collection of all types of data. Data can be strings, or numbers or boolean, or may contain all types in one list. List can be a nested list. That is, list within list. List can contain duplicate items. List items can be changed. But items have a fixed order. That means new items are added at the end of the list. List can be created using square brackets to contain list items which are assigned to a variable. List can also be created using list constructor with double round brackets. List can be created from a string using split function. You can use string separators to form the list. String separator may be a comma, or even empty space. In the example, C is the string with comma as separators. You can use type command to find the type of a variable. The variable C is a string, but when it is converted to list using split command, the type of variable F becomes list type. Use len command to find the length of list items. It means how many items a list has. If you try to find length of a nested list as marked by variable e, it will print 4 as its length. Python treats a list within a list as a single item. So, it takes total items to 4. You can access the list items using slice function and its index number. It is very similar to accessing the string. Please go through our lecture on string to have a detailed knowledge of it. Index starts with 0. If you want to access first item of list, use 0 as its index. For second item, use 1 and so on. If you use -1, it will mean the last item, while -2 will mean the second last item. For nested list, if you want to find the item within the inner list, first use the index of inner list, and then the index of item of this inner list. If you want to access Toyota, in the list E, firstly, slice for index number 1, and then 2 for accessing the required car. Similarly, you can use slice function and index number to replace list items at the desired position. This position is determined by its index number. Again, index starts from 0. To access second item in the list, you enter 1 as its index number. You can also replace a range of list by defining it with index numbers, starting from and ending to, using colon. The required lists items will be replaced with new ones, as we have replaced first 2 items with new ones. In this example of nested list, we shall change the rows to columns. In mathematical term, it is called transpose of a matrix. We shall replace the values of column using slice method as you have just learned. Column values are initially put as zeros. We have used two loop x and y with range equal to number of rows for x and number of columns for y. In other words, these are the length function of row and column. X will loop from 0 to 1, while y will loop from 0 to 2. Then, we shall use these index values to replace column values. If we want to print on each line, we can use for loop. To better understand the concept, we print x and y values for you. These values have been used to replace the column elements. Loop and inner loop concept was cleared in the previous lecture on loops. You can use append command to add new elements at the end of the list. We have appended a list of flowers by adding lily at the end. You can also use for loop to iterate through items and append them to the end of the list. Similarly, you can append a whole list to other list by using extend command. The list will be appended to the end of the first list. If you desire to add element at a particular place in the list, use insert command to add element using its index number. Just to remember, index numbers start from 0. You can also join two lists using plus operator. For copying a list, you can use copy command. Copy command generates a copy of the same list with a new name. Alternatively, you can use list function to generate a copy of the same list with a new name. You use sort command to sort the list. By default, the list is sorted in ascending order. We have provided examples of alphabet and numeric lists. For descending order, modify the sort command by adding reverse is equal to true in the parenthesis. You can use remove command to remove the item by name. If two items of same name are there, first item will be removed. To remove item by index number, pop command is used. If index number is not mentioned, then last item of the list is removed. Similarly, del command is used to remove item of list by index number. You can even remove the whole list by using del command without mentioning index numbers. When you print, it will generate error message because the list has been removed. Alternatively, if you want to only remove contents of the list, but not the list itself, use clear command. List comprehension is a method to form new list based on the values of an existing list, using a shorter syntax. Instead of using lengthy for loop, you may use list comprehension method to generate new list. For example, you may want to replace all the flowers name with a new flower name, sunflower. Or you may want to perform different string operation, like lower command to convert all flowers names to lowercase. Similarly, you may want to use a conditional command. If Rose is not in the list, then else command is executed. In our case, Rose is in the list, so else command will replace Rose with Iris. Let's apply your learned concepts to solve a real-life problem. You will sum two matrices. Matrix is an array of data. You know that you use list function for denoting an array. Firstly, we shall solve the matrices by using append command. In the next example, you will be able to learn to solve it by using replace command. We have A and B matrices. We use outer loop X to iterate through two rows of matrices. Matrix sum will be a list, which will be populated using append function. Next, we use an inner loop, denoted by Y. It will iterate through the columns of both matrices. Number of columns are 3. Then, we will add corresponding elements of both matrices, using their index numbers. Both X and Y will be 0 for first element in the first row. X will be 0 while Y will be 1 for the second element on the top row. X, again, will be 0 while Y now will be 2 for third and last element on the first row. For the second row, X will change from 0 to 1, while Y will iterate from 0 to 2. In this way, we shall find the sum of A and B. This is even simpler method than the previous one. We take the same two matrices, A and B. Matrix sum is initially denoted by zeros. We shall replace these zeros with calculated values. Similar to previous example, we use two loops, X and Y. They will iterate through rows and columns of the matrices. We use, here, length function. For X loop, length of matrix A is 2. For Y, which is inner loop, the length of first nested element is 3. Now, like the previous example, using index values, elements of A and B are added together to calculate the sum of two matrices. These values will replace the zeros of the sum matrix.
We strongly recommend that you follow our sequence of videos on Python to fully understand concepts and move on to next level. Please subscribe to stay updated.